And though we are different, but unity is always there. We don't understand, and slowly, slowly, because of the technology, we are coming so close to each other, we are knowing to each other, and that is developing a fraternity, a brotherhood, an understanding. So, this is wonderful. And when we are coming to each other, at the same time, if we can know that not only as a human being, but as a divinity, as a divine, we are one. And what is that divinity? Is that Atman. And that Atman that is within us, but we do not know, we are not very much aware of it. Why it is? Because of our ignorance, which is called as Maya. Now, here we came up to that, and then we discussed finally we left. That was how one can realize Atman with two things. One, guidance from the Guru. Second, self-effort. Now, what type of qualifications are necessary for this? For everything necessary, when I go for this Swamiji, I don't know whether he goes or not, but if you go to any saloon, the people who are helping you to cutting your hair, they are certified. They are having the certification. Then only they can use that. Not like our country. Anyone can save. So that they don't do. Here, anything that you like to do, you have to. Then, as a monk, we have the habit of giving advices. Someone told, Swamiji, in this country, don't give advice, because you need a particular certificate for that. So otherwise, it will be difficult. So if you say that you please go and close your nose and meditate, and afterwards he goes to the court after closing the nose, I got fainted. So this Swamiji. So again, it will be problem. So everything needs some qualification. Here also, what are the qualifications of a person who can start trying to realize God through the path of knowledge? This is the path of knowledge we are discussing. And it says that Medhabi Purusho Vidwan Uha Apoha Bichakshana. Shankaracharya is telling that it must be the qualification. Just a minute. Medhabi Purusho Vidwan Uha Apoha Bichakshana Adhikariya Atma Vidyaya Ukta Lakshana Lakshitaha. And it must be Medhavi. His mind is sharp and he is determined, and he is having the basic knowledge also. Medhavi Purusho Vidyan. I am giving a very simple translation. Uha Apoha Bichakshanaha must be very intelligent in debating. And some people will come and tell, oh, there is nothing like Atma, what is possible, this is not possible. And then some people are there, they can put things in such a way, you will be confused. So obviously, you must be capable to understand what actually the thing that they are telling, and then you have to answer those things. So, uha apoha bichakshanaha. And that is the adhikari. Not anyone can do that. Adhikari is a main thing. You must have that type of qualification. And then only, one gentleman told, I like the path of jnana. And you, what do you mean by jnana? What do you know? No, sir, all these rituals I don't like, so path of jnana is good for me. And that means you don't like to do anything. So path of jnana means you'll be simply sitting, I am in the path of jnana, path of jnana. But path of jnana won't help. You need a lot, many things. And then only. And otherwise in the devotional path you have to do many things, rituals, and that means you have to work very hard. In the path of jnana, also the knowledge path, that is also you have to work very hard. And here Shankaracharya is telling in this sloka, it's a 16, sloka number 16. If you are having the books, you can see. Medhabi Purusho Vidwan Uha Apoha Vichakshanaha is the intelligent and learned man skilled in arguing in favor of the scriptures and in refuting counter arguments against them. So that thing must be there, otherwise it is impossible. Then it says, Vivekina Viraktasya Shamadhi Gunushalinaha Mumuksha Revahi Brahma Jigyasa Jaggata Mata. Yaggata means qualified. And what are the things, what are the qualifications? First is Vivekina. Second, Viraktasya. Third, Shama Adi Gunushalina. Adi means it says only Shama. But so many others, 6 are there. So Shamadi Gunushalinaha, then Mumukshatva. Now, if we see like this here, Vivekina Viraktasya Samadhi Gunashalina. What is this? The Vivekina Viraktasya, it says the man should have the discriminating power between the real and the unreal. If the discriminative faculty is not there, then it is very difficult. Because every time you will think this is permanent, this is good, this is very nice. Whatever you see, you will be feeling, oh, this is wonderful. Sometimes some people will be telling, Swamiji, have you gone to that place? Oh, that is so good. As if you don't go there, your life is totally wasted. That is good. But if you don't go, what is there? So like that, people always think, you have not, I went to one center, they told, you must give some time, we will take you to a restaurant, and there the ice cream you must take, otherwise this life is, I don't know, ice cream I don't eat, I don't take ice cream. So whether that, then what is there? Even then, all the devotees, they were, so 2-3 car full of people, we all went over there, beautiful place of course, and then they gave the ice cream, and the same ice cream I got over there. So but the people think in such a way, if you don't take that, then the life is, the whole thing is wasted. One, this is all the time they tell it in such a way, you must know what is good thing for you, what is very, very important thing, and that you have to learn. The one Pandit means a learned person, a learned in scripture. So in our country they call them Pandit. And this Pandit, he was crossing the river in a boat, and he was asking the boatman, because there was no one, Pandit and sadhus, they like to talk. So if there is no one, then with whom? So the boatman who was rowing the boat, the poor fellow, he was there. Then Pandit picked up the conversation with him. Hey, my good man, have you read the Upanishads? He said, sir, what do you say there? What the Upanishad? I never heard about it. Oh my God, you didn't? Then your 25% of your life is wasted. And then he said, have you read the Bhagavata? What is that Bhagavata? Then 50% of your life. Then have you at least read the Gita? Oh, Gita I know. The next in our neighborhood, that lady, isn't it? That Gita, I know her. Her name is Gita. No, I am talking about the book. You have not read that? I have not seen it. Then 70% of you. In the meantime, when he was going on giving the percentage, in the meantime there was a huge wave. And the boat was going to capsize. Then boatman was asking that Pandit, do you know swimming? Oh, I am sorry, I don't know. 100% of your life, I know swimming. So whether you know which shop is selling what good thing, or this place or that place, everything is temporary and nothing is permanent. The permanent thing we should know. And that is why he is telling Vivekina. This discrimination, this is the permanent thing. I am going to hold it. And then all other things, let it come and go, it doesn't matter. It's coming, good. Not coming, good. No problem for me. That is the first qualification. That's the first quality. Then Vivekina, after that, Viraktasya. Viraktasya means viraga. It doesn't bother. Anything that is coming, it's okay. So I must get that one. Not like that. If you are attached to anything particularly, then you are suffering. Anything, whatever comes, okay. And that this moment I need some food, food has come, okay. So you need little sweet, okay. Mix with some sugar and then eat that, okay. So this way, every time, mind is constantly calm and tranquil and ready to adjust. So vivekena viraktasya, that is renunciation. What is sannyasa? Renunciation. What to renounce? Ego to renounce. When you have renounced the ego, then you have renounced everything. So that is the main thing. If you are having the ego very much, and then you are saying, no, I am walking in the barefoot and I won't take this and I won't take that. Outwardly people will say, oh, great renouncer. No. Real renunciation is renouncing the ego. Otherwise it is impossible. Long back, one gentleman was there. He used to give some donation to the ashrama. So naturally, rich man. So the young brahmacharis, they never used to disturb him because he's a supporter. But he was a very egoistic person. And one day he was sitting near the veranda of the President Swamiji, when all the Swamis and brahmacharis, they come in a line and then offer pranam. He was sitting over there and he was observing this. He is an elderly person, observing the Swamis and the brahmacharis coming. Then he said, hey, you great renouncers, where from you are coming, like this. But he was not actually appreciating. In the way he was pronouncing the renouncer, it was almost an insult. Then one Swami told, sir, what renounce we have renounced? Nothing. But you are real renouncer. Then he immediately, his ego, is it, you think so? Why you are telling like this? You see what? We have left only our hearth and home and little money and here and there. But you have renounced the God itself. So a great renouncer. Then afterwards he understood that actually it was a teaching that he must learn. He was never caring for God or anything, simply to show that I have money and I am feeding you, giving you clothing and all that. So the renouncing meant the what I am going to renounce, ego. That is the main thing. Vivekena viraktasya samadhi gunushalinaha. Shama adi. Shama is the first one. Adi means again there are lined up something. What is that? That's called Sharasampatti. The 6 treasures. One religious person should have 6 treasures. What are those 6 treasures? Shama, Dhamma, then Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha, and Samadhan. Isn't it 6? So these are the 6 treasures one must have. The first begin with the Shama. Constantly, calmness is there in the mind because constantly, steadfastly keeping the mind on the Brahman. Detaching again and again, withdrawing the mind again and again from the objects. So this is Shama. Mind always goes to the objects. What are the objects? Rupa, Rasa, Shabda, Sparsha, Gandha, like that. The beauty, taste, smell, sound, immediately our mind goes over there. The one person, he was sitting in a meeting, and there someone was going to tell some good thing about him. Mostly bad things, but at least 1 or 2 things were good. So someone wanted to tell him, oh, this person, he is having wonderful, and then some sound or something came, he could not complete the sentence. This person became very angry. In the meeting itself, he said, he was going to tell something, why you people are not listening. First, ask him to complete the sentence. What is that sounds? He is a good man, he helped that, did that, and all that path you are seeing, actually it is his money. So that way they were going to tell about him, and he was so eager to hear that and to other people to listen to that. So what is that? Only sound. Sir, my ear, I am all the time ready to listen about the praising about myself and criticism of others. And particularly a person whom I don't like, if somebody is criticizing, then I would go, sit over here, what do you like? Coffee, tea, I'll go on providing. So why we do like that? Because our senses are going constantly over there. So this is shama, that we have to withdraw the mind again and again. There's nothing wrong, and it is natural that the mind goes over there. We have to withdraw that. No, this is nothing. I should not put my mind over there. It isn't wastage. As the Swamiji again and again was telling, if you are gossiping, you are just chit-chatting, the mind energy is lost. Or rather, those who have taken the initiation, when you are eating, when you are in the queue, and to collect the food, if you are going on, remembering God, more vaddi. So that way it is so good. So that's called shama. And dhamma, turning senses from the sense objects again, that's called self-control. Upurati, mind ceases to be affected by external attractions, self-withdrawal. Whatever is happening, let it happen. But I am trained in such a way, quietly I can withdraw my mind. That is called uparati. Some people are very ugly dancing going on. Sometimes they invite us to go, they don't understand. They respect us, but the dances and all those things in such a way, it is not for a monk befitting to go and watch like that. But in that condition, when he was sitting over there, totally withdrawn the mind in that and imposing something wonderful, like when they are dancing, there's a different dances. Expressions are totally different, but you are thinking that Mirabai, she is dancing, singing the Lord of Krishna. Totally, you're lost in that. So that is uparati, mind ceases to be affected. That's called uparati. And many places we see in the lives of Ma Sharadamani Devi and even the mother of Sri Ramakrishna, when there is a siren and nearby there's a factory, just opposite the Ganga, there's a factory, they are blowing the siren, the tremendous sound. But even then they are quietly meditating. How? They're thinking, oh, that is the music of Sri Krishna, the flute that Krishna is playing. So immediately the mind is withdrawn and not at all disturbed. Some people are using bad, filthy languages or words. You are withdrawing the mind from that, not affected. So this is the training, slowly, the spiritual person should develop. Now see, the spiritual person means a lot of training, lot of practices. Shama, Dhamma, Uparati. Then comes the Titiksha. Sahana sarvadukyanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparohitam sa titiksha nigaddati. Apparently it is so simple. It's so easy, the spiritual life. But actually it is so difficult if anyone is trying to do. Sahana, he is forbearing sarvadukyanam, all different type of miseries. Some people they'll be insulting, some people unnecessarily criticizing, trying to make other problems. So many things goes on in one life. The monk's life was also full with all those things because we are in the society. The people don't understand. So many ways they will be creating problem. So that is why this titiksha, bearing all suffering without lamenting and without trying to solve the problem. No. Sahana, the bearing, sarvadukyanam, different type of miseries and the things that makes the mind agitated. Apratikara purvakam, without taking any step to solve that problem. No. Quietly waiting for the judgment of God. I know there is something is going to happen to me. I have not done anything wrong. So quietly he is sitting. He is not taking any. So think of the tremendous mental power without telling anything. He is not taking any action, but he is going and crying before others. You know what happened? This person did like this and that. That also you cannot do. So sahana sarvadukyanam apratikara purvakam. Then chinta bilaparohitam. They won't think about that also. And lamenting, no question. So not at all affected by this. That's called titiksha. One little girl, she used to come with her father. Her father was the tea garden manager. And she was very fond of eating. Anything she'll run for that food. And I told, what is your name? She told, Titiksha. Titiksha? Then her father told, I have given the name thinking that at least one day she will understand and then stop all this. Anything that is somewhere, immediately she needs that. I told, this is Titiksha, is good. So Titiksha she will be doing, and now she has grown up now, this is all right. So this is called the Titiksha, means bearing all suffering without lamenting. That's called Titiksha. Then comes the Shraddha. It's a great word. Swami Vivekananda again and again said, Shraddhavan. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Tatpara samyatendriya. So who can get the knowledge? First is the Shraddha. What is that Shraddha? The respect in the words of the scripture. Shraddhavan, respect in the and faith in the words of the scripture. Why? Because the scripture has been given or written by those people who are realized in that particular, the realized souls. And when they have said, it must be true. So that is the total confidence. If you have doubt constantly for everything, is there God? Why shall I close my eyes to meditate? Why I have to close my... Some people, they'll be constantly asking, why you are asking to close the eyes for the meditation? Can't I open my eye and meditate? That also you can do. But you'll see that your eye is going here and there, everywhere. So concentration, that is the reason you have to. So you must have some faith, complete faith in the words of the Guru. He has said, I will do that. The one disciple of Swami Vivekananda, he was a Marathi in the Maharashtra in India, and he was a soldier. He saw Vivekananda and decided that he must be my Guru. And he went on searching and then somehow reached, where Maharashtra and where is Calcutta? Vivekananda came back to Calcutta and he followed the train line and then came to Calcutta and somehow came to Vivekananda. Vivekananda heard and okay. One day, one Swami, maybe it's one Brahmachari, they went the other side of the bank to purchase a cow for the ashrama. And Vivekananda sent him, hey, you also go. The moment they will purchase the cow, you must hold that rope of the cow. And don't lose it, it will run. It will go away. Okay, he said. He went over there and then The moment it was purchased, he hold that. And when they are coming back, again it is a boat. And on the boat, the cow got terrified and it jumped in the river. This boy also jumped in the river. He was not knowing any swimming. But he was military man, he knew. So perhaps he was sitting on the back of the cow. And cow was also floating, he was also going. And in the evening time, they reached in a far away place. Somehow they got then the other people went and brought them back. Swami Vivekananda asked him, "Are you a fool? We could purchase any cow any time. Why you are going to kill yourself?" Then he said boldly, "Sir, you told me, you're my guru, and you told me not to lose that rope, so I was holding it. It doesn't matter whether I die or live." And Vivekananda appreciated him. Then his name became Nishchayananda. So that he was holding, no, Nishchay. I have decided. No going back here and there. So that is the thing that we have to. The Shraddha means faith. Faith in the words of Guru. And faith in the words of the Shastra. It's said that Brahman is there. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is giving. So he is telling with the oath, taking the name of the oath of Mother Kali. I swear in the name of Mother Kali, God is there. You can see God, you can talk to God. What else we need? Is there any God? Again and again we are asking, it's foolishness. How you will know until you reach over there? So this is the faith, this is the belief. God is there. Why? Because Thakur said, Jesus said, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all these great people they said, so it is there. That is called Shraddha. We must have to have that faith. One gentleman once told me, he was not an ordinary man, he was a high court judge. And he was telling, Swamiji, everything is all right in religion, but one thing that you always say, faith, you must have faith. Why should I have to have the faith? I must first see, and then I will accept. Why should I have to have the faith? And I was that time in Andaman. So from Calcutta to Andaman, 2 hours flight over the sea, Bay of Bengal. Then I told, okay, that's good. But when you were coming by the flight from Calcutta to Andaman, did you check all the certificates of the person who was sitting in the cockpit? You didn't check the certificates. You believed. You had the faith that this person, since they are there, they are supposed to be capable to use this fly this craft. You are having the faith, believe. And the lady on whose lap you grew up accepted the mother, you believed her. And everything, everywhere, that person, he was having a armed guard also, bodyguard. I told the person who is standing over there, you are believing, you don't know that man. You are believing, having the faith that person will protect you, won't kill you. So obviously each and every place we are believing, but we do not know what is going to happen. Yet the Shraddha means the faith, the belief. Otherwise, you cannot do. The Shraddha, when in the case of the religion, when these great personalities, they are telling something, why we cannot accept that? That is the Shraddha, the faith. And finally, the self-confidence. The Shraddha is having 3. 1, Shastrasya Guruvakasya Satya Buddhi Abodharanam. The Shastra means the scripture, and Guru, the preceptor. And in their words, I have to have the Satya Buddhi, truth. Whatever they say, truth. But suppose they say, in the name of Shastra, something very wrong, shall we also accept? No. Because self-respect and self-confidence, I too have to have capacity to understand what I should accept and why, and what I am not going to accept. If the scripture, the Vedas, they say the milk is black, shall I have to accept that's because the milk, the Veda has said the milk is black? No. Someone killed whom he was supposed to guard. This is in the case of Indira Gandhi and the then Prime Minister of India. And the bodyguard, he belonged to some religious faith, and they actually, because he was a very religious-minded person, they told this is the thing that, and what is that? Something they showed him. I'm not going to narrate the whole thing. And he believed that the God is indicating I must have to go and kill the Indira Gandhi. He took the promise that I am going to protect that lady, the Prime Minister of India. Instead, he went and killed her. Why? In the name of religion. And they showed something, but if he had discriminated, a bird came and sat on his shoulder. And they told, if that bird comes and sit on your shoulder, on the left shoulder, that means you should believe that it is the will of God that you should do this. But they trained that bird with a kind of smell, and they put that smell on his body, left shoulder, and they left that bird also, and bird flew, got that smell and came and sat over there. They were actually, in the name of religion, they were cheating, but he could not have that type of discrimination. Why this bird is coming and sitting over here suddenly? Let me change my dress. Let me see whether the bird again is coming or not. No, that was the mistake. So the faith means one lady, uneducated lady, she had the great faith in the teachers. Will you believe? The teachers means the shikshak in our country, they say they are great. The person who giving the education, she believed that teacher. And the teacher told her, because she was having a little job, it is also in Andaman again, so how the people, as they are using the faith for their own benefit. So one should have his own discriminative power also. And the teacher told, I am telling you, as a Hindu widow, you are supposed to die with your husband, but you didn't die. So now it is 3 or 4 years, he has passed away, not far perhaps he has traveled, you can still catch up. So you better go and commit suicide. And the poor lady, believing those words, she came all the way from a different island to that where our ashrama was, and we had a home for destitute boys. The father and mother cannot maintain, so they used to leave those children with us. The mother came and told Swamiji, will you please support my 2 children, the boys? I told, okay. Then she opened the bag and gave me some paper. No, what is this? So this is the record of my small plot of land. When our children grow, my children grow up, you can give it to them. Okay. Then she gave some, the bangles and the earrings and golden. So that also she gave. And what I am going to do with this? Now when they grow up, where you are going? So why you are giving it to me? Let it be all with you. No, I am going to commit suicide. And my God, and you are leaving all these things with me. And the police will come and I'll be the first person. They will arrest me, obviously. But why? Then I understood, seeing at her face, that very simply, that she is telling. I told, why you are telling this? Has anybody told you? Yes, the teacher in our village, he told that as because I am a widow and I am supposed to die with my husband, but I couldn't do that. So now it's still this time. So after doing this, I am going to jump in the ocean. I told, have you ever committed suicide? Because she's a very simple lady. So I asked her, have you ever committed suicide before? No. And how you will know what is suicide? You don't know. You better go back and tell the teacher, the Swamiji has said, first you commit suicide. Then let me see how you are doing. Then I will follow. And I was at a very small island. They all knew me. So when, and she said, okay, I told, after going over there, you tell that and then give me a ring over there. From there, then I will tell you. And before that, don't commit suicide, don't do anything wrong, take it back. So I gave all the paper and all those things and kept those children with me. She went and reported to the teacher. Teacher understood. Immediately he rang. No, Swamiji, I didn't say like that. I was telling, according to our Hindu scripture, and you know Hindu scripture, right? And I know your scripture. I will tell the director of the education to punish you. Because instead of giving the help, you are utilizing your knowledge in this way. So this type of the moment, the faith, why I am telling all these stories? Because the faith is good in the words of the scripture, in the words of the Guru, but at the same time you must be intelligent enough to understand how much I will accept. And what is possible for me, that I will accept. So it says, first is Shama, then Dama, then Uparati, Titiksha, Shraddha. In Shraddha again, the faith in the scripture, faith in Guru, and faith in yourself. Swami Vivekananda stressed on these. Have faith, and faith. You can do. You can do each and everything. Who said that you are weak? Like that, he has encouraged. Once you have that confidence, oh, I will manage, I will see, you can do. So that is, and finally, samadhan. This constant concentration, that is the ultimate. Constant concentration. That's called samadhana. This sadhana atra chatvari. This is sadhana, the four type of sadhana. Sadhana means the austerity that we should practice. What are those things? They say viveka, vairagya, shadasampatti and mumukshutva. Those who are noting, you can note it down. It is all there in the 18th and 19th sloka of the book. This mumukshutva means, finally mumukshutva, it is desire to get the liberation. And constantly, as the Swamiji was telling, in America, if you say, oh no, I have nothing to do with this world, I am going to go to God, whenever the date will come, I am ready, then they will put you somewhere, oh, this is a depressed person, and they will take you. Social security people maybe, then another problem will come. So every time you have to say, no, I am going to go to heaven, you know how? I know the secret. So in a positive way you have to, and then how you are going to? So that I will show you afterwards, secretly. And what is the secret? Close your eyes and concentrate your mind on God. Try to see the God and you will get that. So this what he says. Now, the Shishya, he is asking some question to his Guru. This is a qualified man. He is asking some question. An excellent question he is asking. Ko nama bandha? Is the first question. He is asking 7 questions. A very intelligent, brilliant student. And he heard all those things. Then he understood, where is the problem? Somebody is holding me back. You said that I am Brahman. But why can't I understand that I am Brahman? In that case, somebody is holding me back. Somewhere there is the problem. What is that problem? So he is asking, and very humble way. That is the main thing. You must be very humble when you are asking question to your Guru, to your teacher. I talked with some of the teachers here. when I went to a place and the teachers came and they were telling Swamiji, we are not satisfied. And why? Because in the classroom we don't get that respect that we are supposed to get. We go, we give the talk and we explain them. That's everything is all right. But we are supposed to get the attention and respect from the students. That we are not getting. So that satisfaction is not there. But if you go to the villages, in Indian villages, that ordinary person is a teacher, but whoever will see him will give the respect. Pranam sir, Acharya, Namaskar, like this. Why? Because they know he is giving education. And education, that will help each and every one, whoever will be receiving, to stand on their own feet. And the spiritual teacher, highly respected. Wherever you go, they are highly respected people. So naturally, this person is coming and with great humbleness, he is asking to the teacher, Sir, will you please tell me the answer to these questions? First is, Ko Nama Bandha. What is bondage? I am not bound, I am totally free. What is bondage then? Kathamesha Agata. How did it arise? Where from it came? Katham Pratishtha Asya. How does it continue? How does it continue? Katham Vimoksha. How is one released from it? Then fifth question, Ka Aso Anatma. You are talking about the Atma and Anatma. Ka Aso Anatma. What is this Anatma? Atma and Anatma. There's two words. Atma is the consciousness, Anatma in everything that is not conscious, unconscious. So this is Anatma. And then Paramaka Atma, which is the Paramatma, the highest, the greatest soul. And then Tayo Viveka Katham Etat Uchyatam. How to distinguish between Atma and Anatma? How can I distinguish in between these two? These are the 7 questions. And I won't be able to read all those. The Guru is so happy. Dhanyosi, kritakrittosi, pavitam te kritam taya. He's so happy. Oh, great you are. You are going to realize your goal. You are going to reach your goal. Because these questions, Hazara, you can ask this question, you can think of these questions in a proper way, perfectly. So Guru is very happy. So when there is a real Guru, he is always happy when the disciple is coming and asking question. Pariprasnena sevaya, they say, you have to serve the God, serve your Guru. How? By asking question. And there are Gurus, of course. If you ask question, immediately, nikal jao, go. Go out, because then you should not ask any question. And whatever the Guru may be, all around the people, some people always, if there is a person getting some success, immediately some people come and surround and they will be boasting that Paraguru, and then Aparaguru, like this, all Gurus will come. Again and again they will be telling you, no, you cannot talk to the Gurudev, you cannot mix with him, you cannot see him, once in a second only, all these things. No, he must be open. Anyone can go and mix with him, what is there? So that is the way, and when he listens to this type of questions, he is very happy. And he is telling that you are blessed, you are going to realize God, and then he is slowly giving the reply. What are the reply? And the Guru is giving the first the answer to the questions, but before that, there are some qualities of the Guru also should be. And what are those qualities? In the 33 sloka, he is mentioning that, the qualities of the Guru. Who is a Guru? Sotriya, Abrijina, Akamahata, Yo Brahmavid, Uttamaha. So these are the qualities of a guru. Sotriya, Abrijina, Akamahata, Yo Brahmavid, Uttama. Brahmanopa, that is okay. Shanta, Nirandana, these are all the example he is giving. What is that? Fast is, he is versed in the Veda, Sotriya. He must know the previous knowledge that must be there. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna didn't read any scripture. He never attended any school. But from within all that knowledge came. And that's why he is Sotriya. He knew the truth. What is Veda means knowledge. That knowledge was already there. And the same knowledge is the only begotten Son of God. So only the moment you use the word O-N-L-Y is a mistake. Because it cannot be anywhere, anyone, anytime following the disciplines that you have followed. Anyone can realize God too. Otherwise, only you can realize God and no one else. There is no proof that you have also realized God. But most of the cases you will find they close the door. No, you cannot do that. Only He could do and He can do like this. Not like that. Here it says, Sotriya is the verse in the Veda. What is that Veda? Knowledge. What is the knowledge? Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. That's all. And he has not only read it, he realized it. So that's why Sri Ramakrishna Dev, he didn't read, but he realized. So that is the Sotriya Abrijino. There is no sin, sinless. What is this sin again? Selfishness. The moment there is something me and mine, selfishness, so obviously I will try to go beyond others. Selfishness, the abrijino, there is no sin at all. The Sotriya, abrijino, akamahata, no desire at all. No desire for name, fame, even nothing. Yo Brahmavid Uttamaha, and knower of the Brahman par excellence. There's no doubt. It's clear. Everything is clear. When Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is going to meet some people like Keshav Chandra Sen, Vidyasagar, all those great souls, they were highly educated, respected people, accepted by the society. In comparing with that, Sri Ramakrishna was nowhere. But even then, he knew much better than them. And then he was dictating. They used to say in one time, when Keshav speaks, Keshav was a very famous speaker. And they used to say, when Keshav speaks, whole world listens. And afterwards, Keshav himself was telling, when Sri Ramakrishna speaks, Keshav listens. So why? Because the truth is coming out, you cannot deny. Brahmavid Uttamaha. So that is the way, is all the time is explaining. What is the quality of a guru? These four things must be there. Sotriya, the well versed in the Veda. Abrijina, sinless. Akamahata, without any desire. And Brahmavid Uttama, is the par excellence. He must know the truth. So these are the four qualities. And this is in the sloka number 33. And 37 sloka again it says that Guru is having the wonderful quality. Why? Shanta, Mohanta, Nibashanti Santa. This is 37, yeah. In the 37th, Shanta Mohanta Nibasanti Santa Basantavat Lokohitam Charanta Tirnasayam Bhima Bhavarnabam Janan Ahetunan Api Tarayanta. So this is a good souls, calm, magnanimous, who do good to others, like the spring, Bashantabat. And when the spring has come, immediately everywhere the flowers, even the wild flowers all over, nobody asks them and nobody is taking care of them, but they have come out of their own and making the whole thing so beautiful. And like that, the Guru, without any request, he goes himself and tries to help others. Constantly, so he is always calm and composed. And Mahanta, he has a great mind, great soul, and he can feel for the others. And this is the qualities, and he knows how to help others to cross the ocean of birth and death. So this we always get the quality of a guru. And after this, the guru is warning to the teacher, giving the warning, okay, I can tell you these things, but you must know that you have to do all these. No one is going to help you. You have to do it. And then giving the example. What is the example? If the father is carrying a load on his head, the son can come and can help the father from that load and make the father free. The son can take the load on his own head, making the father free. But the sin that you have committed, no one can help you, not even the son or the relatives or anyone. So you have to help yourself. So that is the fasting. And again is going on giving the caution that you have to go on doing it yourself and no one can help you. Rina mochana kartara pitus santi sutadayaha bandha mochana kartatus, that you have to do yourself. What is that bandha? This bondage, and for that you have to strive. But if you have taken some money from somebody else, and before you can't pay it back, you can ask your children, will you please pay it back? I took that money from that so and so person. They can help you in that. But they cannot help you going beyond your sin. No, that you have to do that. Sometimes some people are eager to bring others and to practice religion or taking care of the grandchildren, and they will go on forcing the grandchildren. They must go and offer pranam. By the way, they forget to offer pranam to God. They go to the temple with the grandchildren. If one is sufficient, the energetic grandchildren and grandchild, but if they have 2, 3, so grandparents will forget that they have to offer the pranam to God because they are eager to make them offer the pranam by that way. So similarly, here also, you are helping others, it's okay, but the sin. So why he is telling so many slokas he'll be using? Like, suppose you are sick, you have to take the medicine, and then only you will be cured. If somebody else is taking medicine on your behalf, no. So similar, all these things, one after other, the example he is giving. Why? Because most of the time, Guru Deva Dayakara Dina Jane. There's a beautiful song is there. Oh Gurudev, please have, and then take all my burden. Of course Guru can do, but you have to strive. You have to strive hard. When the small baby trying to stand up, the mother will be waiting to see whether he can himself do. And then if he cannot, then only she will come and help the child, holding the child's hand. So that way, Guru will also help, it is sure. But you have to have that faith I will do it. That is subjective and no one else can help. So here they give in this way and one after another they will. And then it says, suppose you are mastering of the scriptures, reading lot of scriptures and you can expound a wonderful way. But that will also not help you. Bhag Vaikhari, Shabdo Jari, Shastra Vyakhyan Kaushalam, Vaidusham Vidusham Yadvat, Bhuktaye Natu Muktaye. There are some people out there who can explain the scripture in such a wonderful way that mesmerize the audience because they know how to express it. It's a beautiful way. But that doesn't mean that he is a great soul and he has realized God. No. As Shankaracharya is telling, this is like the person performing in the court of a king and just making everybody happy. By that way you are making everybody happy. But are you free? No. When a person is closing the door all alone in the room, what he is thinking? That is the main question. The most of the cinema artists and the movie that all those people outside they are so happy because hundreds of people will be there to see them. But when they are all alone inside their room, no company, then what they are thinking? They can't sleep. They will be taking the medicine to sleep. Is that the life? So one must be very, very careful. And that only we must understand. So this is going to come on me someday. And there won't be any time in my hand. So Shankaracharya, he is again and again, he is giving the caution that you have to help yourself. And then he takes up the questions one after another. And the first questions he is picking up. This goes up to 4 o'clock. Oh, time is up. Question. Question answer. Right. Right. So these very especially, instead of giving the answer to the first question, the Guru picked up the fourth question. And in the fourth question, he is asking, Katham Vimoksha? How to get liberation? Katham Vimoksha? That is the main thing. All other things are secondary. How to get liberation? That is the main thing. And here he is giving these advices, and in the sloka 55 he will be explaining this. 55th sloka, that he will be explaining how to get the liberation. Avidya kama karmadi pasha bandham vimochitum. Avidya kama karmadi pashabandha vimochitum. These are only avidya, the first thing he is telling. From the avidya only, what is that avidya? Avidya, vidya and avidya. Vidya is knowledge, avidya is ignorance. Here, the knowledge means lot of informations. All this present knowledge is what? Lot of information. But here the vidya means self-knowledge. And all other things are avidya. Avidya and then kama karma, that is the pasha. From there you have to go away from that. Kama, desire. And from the desire, for the desire, we need money. And for the money, we go and do little different type of work. And with that work again, some other desire is coming. So going on and on and on, it cannot close. Have you seen that symbol of Ramakrishna Mission? And the Ramakrishna Mission symbol that in that corner, the wavy water. Here, you see that, look at this. That is the symbol of the Ramakrishna Mission. There's a wavy water. The wavy water means karma. You can never stop it. It goes on, coming and coming. If you go and stand by the seashore, you will see all the time the waves are coming. You are thinking that it will stop and then I will go and take the bath? Impossible. So this karma, if it is attached with the kama, the desire, then the result is bondage. So the Guru is telling, moksha, katham bimoksha, how can I get the liberation? First this thing you should understand. Whatever the work that you are doing, that you should do with full knowledge, without attachment. And the moment you can do that, then you are totally free. Why he is giving this answer fast? Because when a man is caught in a house on fire, he do not go to search to get the answer how the fire came and all these things. First thing, he must survive. The one boy, he fell in a river and he was carried by the stream, and he was crying, save me, I don't know how to swim. Then another gentleman, he's a philosopher, and he was standing by the shore and he looked at that boy and said, tell me first, if you don't know the swimming, then how you went to the water? Is anybody pushed you? And then you fell in the water, and who is that person who pushed you? And why then he did that type of thing? That boy shouted, sir, first save my life. Then I will give all the answer that you like to know. So that is the first thing. That's why katham bimoksha, how to get liberation, that is the question. And how to get liberation? By understanding work. Friends, devotees, we cannot stay without work. We must work. No one can stop. When we are not working physically, sitting quietly, mentally we are working. So we must be careful only this much, what type of work we are doing. Because that is the main cause of our vimoksha, our mukti, our liberation. Same type of work, if you turn into the God's way, when you are sweeping the floor, cleaning the floor, and if you are thinking today the God will come and He will be walking over here, there should not be any dirt. You are doing the same work, cleaning work, but as because you are thinking and directing your mind towards God, that will help you to get the liberation. When we are cooking, if we think that we will offer it to God, I must be careful. When I am cooking, I must be careful that I am not coughing, I am not talking. I must be constantly remembering the name of God so that it becomes very good, swatik food as they call it, so that God will partake it, God will eat it. The same cooking, that will take you to Godwards. So the karma, that is the most important thing. But why can't we do that? Because the Maya, the truth of the self, it's called Brahma Vidya, and which is hidden by Maya. We will conclude the Maya Karjo Rohitam, Brahma Vidya Maya Karjo Rohitam, and through the instruction of the Guru Upadesha, followed by reflection, manana, and then meditation, the Sravan, Manan, Nididhyasan. Through this only it is possible. Yajnavalkya, he was a rishi, And in the final stage of his life, he decided to take the sannyasa. Then one person, 2-3 days before he came, and he charged me. Why you have taken sannyasa? What wrong? What is the problem with you? I have taken sannyasa, that is mine. But what is... No. You have broken the law. If the first is the brahmacharya, then garhastha, then banaprastha, then sannyasa, but you have not followed the other two. Jumped from the brahmacharya to sannyasa. Why? You have broken the rule. I told, you have not broken, no? So no. And continue. So why you are forcing that on me? You better continue as you are. You are now in grahastha? Yeah. Prepare for the next banaprastha, then sannyasa. Then when you take sannyasa, if I am surviving by that time, I will talk to you. So some people unnecessarily they will be coming and thinking, and this is what's called what? The first and foremost is what is that sannyasa? Giving away what? Desire. But sometimes some people are so strong, this thing come from when they are very young, they take that path, and Shankaracharya is telling, you are capable and you can do that. So this is, Yajnavalkya, he was leaving the household. And then he told that this is whole property, now you too, and he was having 2 wives and he is distributing the property to the wives. One wife was very happy, the other one, she is very famous, Maitreyi. And Maitreyi then told, tell me, my husband, you were having all this thing. You were leaving these and going away for sannyasa. What you will get in the sannyasa? He told, peace, eternal peace. Then this lady told, Maitreyi told, then why should I not also follow you? Why should I also have this property and then won't get the peace, happiness for which you were having all those things, now leaving and going away, I am also going to follow you. Please tell me. Then the Yajnavalkya told about the Atma. Atma ba are drashtabhya, srotabhya, mantabhya, nididhyasitabhya. My beloved wife, Atman must be realized. And this is drashtabhya, seen. Seen means realized. And for that, 3 things you have to do. First is srotabhya. You have to hear. Friends, we are hearing. No, that don't think that I am telling. I am actually quoting from a great book, Viveka Chudamani. It is Adi Shankaracharya who is telling. And he is also not telling. He is only quoting from, again, from the Veda. Those realized souls, the rishis, they have given that, and it is coming down to us. So first, we must see God, or the Atman we must realize, by hearing, srotabhya. Then mantabhya, reflecting. Simply we have heard and then immediately we will take action. No. Reflecting on that, and nididhyasitabhya. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it says this, Atma ba are drashtabhya, srotabhya, mantabhya, nididhyasitabhya, Maitreyi. So this is the thing we have to do. And Sri Ramakrishna said the 4 things. Sir, can one see God? Of course one can. How? Then he said, Sadhu Sangha. Then Nirjan Vas, in Bengali he said, and living in a secluded place, Nirjan Vas. And then Vichara, discrimination. And finally, Prarthana, prayer. Why the prayer last? Because unless and until you are convinced that there is God, you won't get that impetus to pray. So Sri Ramakrishna is telling like this, that Atma, as he was telling the same thing, God can be seen. I swear in the name of Goddess Kali, God can be seen. But the first thing is Sadhu Sangha. And this Sadhu Sangha doesn't mean that you have to go and mix with some Geruva clad people. No. The sadhu sangha means, always remember it, because most of the people by mistake, just they go someone having a geruva clad person and they think it is a sadhu. No, not always. And we were discussing who can be a sadhu, whose mind is so compassionate and totally free from any selfish motive. He is a monk. He is a sadhu. But if you read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, or the Bhagavad Gita, or the Upanishads, or the Bhagavatam, that's also sadhu sangha. Why? It's encouraging you constantly to proceed towards the Godhead. Then Nirjan Vas, quiet living. In America, anywhere you go, always quiet. This is a wonderful thing. Wherever you go, all the houses is very quiet. So in that quietness, if you are simply sitting and then trying to understand, so I heard all these things. Okay, I have noted it. How far I can do this? This is very important. No emotional. Suddenly if you see as us and this, oh, so good, I'll also go away with the Swamiji. No. That you should not. One gentleman, please allow me to tell this, sometimes we make the mistake. The one gentleman, he was a bachelor. And that this Swami was there in charge of that ashram that's called Shillong, the northeast part of the India. In Meghalaya is the state, the capital is Shillong. There's a beautiful ashram and this Swami Yogatmanandaji was there. He developed so much, with particularly solved the water problem, drinking water problem, all this. Now, there one devotee was there, I have forgotten his name. He had a small business, and we from Cherrapunji used to come, and Cherrapunji was little away, so from there used to come and used to go to his house and keeping things and then marketing and all this. He used to help us a lot. He was bachelor, mixing with the Swamis, and then suddenly one day he declared that I am going to sell out all this building and my business, I am going to Kashi and now I'll meditate on that Shiva. I was a very young brahmachari, so naturally I couldn't tell him that way, but still I told, and he was an elderly person, even I told, don't sell it immediately. Try to understand your mind. Just by seeing us, hey, you are at this young age, you have come, he was telling me. And why I can't? And so that is a different thing. Why I have come, I don't know. There is all my samskara that has brought me over here. But your samskara, you must be very, very practical. Don't sell it out. You are helping the monks. That's a great thing that you are doing. You are starting and then inviting the devotees and come and sit over here and discussing. That way you will continue. Then slowly, you take the vacation from your job and try to understand your mind and then leave. He didn't listen. He sold all this property. He went to the Kashi. And first few days it was good. And afterwards, and every morning he will be shouting, Shiva, Shiva. Afterwards all Shiva is all stopped. Then whole day what I will do? He will go to this monk, that monk. Monks are all busy. They're all working. After a few days they told, please don't disturb us because we have the office, we have to work. Then what that man will do? He suffered a lot. And when after long many years when I met him, he said, you are correct. So why I am referring this, before taking any decision, why? Nididhyasitabhya. This is also very, very important. Sri Ramakrishna is telling, bichara. You must have to discriminate. Oh, these are the things, how far I can do, this much I will do, and this way I will make the routine. That is very important. Make a strict routine. That I will get up at this time, I will do this, and then. I must read a few pages of a holy book regularly. Wherever I go, even when I am traveling, I must read that book. And after reading, close that book and ponder over that. I must always carry the picture of my God in my pocket. Wherever there is an opportunity, just bring it out, see, and take your mind over there. Because Ma Sharadamani Devi told, What is tapasya? What is austerity? Somehow to keep the mind at the feet of God. That is tapasya, that is austerity. And when we get this, then prarthana. I am sure that God is there. I can't feel, but I have 100% faith, believe that Sri Ramakrishna told, Ma Sarada told, Swamiji told, all great personalities, spiritual personalities, they told. So my prarthana to God, please help me so that I can realize you. So that is the main. So I won't go further because already 8 minutes extra. So this our physical body, then we have a subtle body, Shukshma Sharira, and then causal body. So this physical body, as long as it is strong, we have to use it to reach to that God. Thank you very much. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.